I mowed the presbytery lawn yesterday afternoon. It was a lovely day here in Yorkshire, and that's the first time in 25 years as a priest, I'm ashamed to say, that I've ever done this, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. As I was doing it, a boy shouted across from the pavement to me, "Hi, Father." "Hi," I said, glad of some human contact. And then his mum called across, "Keep away from us, Father. You're self-isolating." She was right. It was a salutary admonition, and she delivered the words very good-humouredly. But I felt immediately guilty, lest I had breached the rules in some way, though in fact there was sufficient distance between the lawn and the road. I suddenly felt my isolation borne in on me in a new way, and for the first time I craved readmission to the community. None of us had heard of this term, self-isolation, before a couple of weeks ago, and now it's entered into common parlance. It's an act of solidarity. We remove ourselves from others for others. We're doing it to protect people whom we've never met, lest we be unwittingly a connection in a chain of infection which leads to their death. But it's hard. It feels unnatural to be alone. And it is unnatural. I've been reflecting on my experience in recent days, and I can detect my spirit protesting increasingly within me. I want company. I've been having quite a few phone calls, which is more than I ordinarily do. Usually I just use the phone in a transactional way to sort things out. Indeed, truth be told, as those of you who know me will know, half the time I've no idea where my phone is. But in recent days I felt a whoosh of joy when somebody has called me, and I've taken the initiative to speak with people whom I hadn't contacted for a good while. Yesterday I WhatsApped an Exodus 90 men's group that I'm a member of and said, "I need fraternity." And then I wrote, "And I wouldn't have acknowledged that a few weeks ago." God created us for community, and we can only be happy when we experience it. I've long known that, but I've become sharply aware of it in recent times. And people intuitively know that it's a good thing to strengthen the social fabric which holds us all together, whether they're religious or not. That's why so many generous-hearted people have responded to the Prime Minister's invitation to become volunteers in the community to help the NHS to do its work. We can see in each instance when people have sent off the email to volunteer for this project the unseen influence of the Holy Spirit within their depths, propelling them to be charitable. But what of those who, despite all these great efforts, will be drawing towards the end of their life at this dark time? What hope for the future can they possess? Either we speak to this reality as Christians, or we have nothing meaningful to say. Well, the refrain from the psalm in today's Mass readings has helped me to understand the importance of the gospel a little bit more clearly. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted, the psalmist writes. Close to. Those are the words that reverberated in my mind. God the Father in Jesus through the Holy Spirit is close to me now, and he will never withdraw his fatherly protection from me, and he shows his love of me through others' love of me. A while ago, I was ministering to an elderly man who was dying. He had been in hospital a good while, and he was exasperated by all the complications and privations and small indignities and discomfort, and it all got too much for him, and he began to cry. A lady who was at his bedside gently took him in her arms and comforted him. "Sorry, Father," he said, as we men often say to each other when we are overcome by emotion. As I left, I was in no doubt that love is indeed stronger than death.